Welcome back, you beautiful people. I'm Brett, the Diabetic Cyclist. Let's go. So, I've got a little confession. I'm not in England anymore. I am in my old hometown of Portimao in the Algarve. Luckily, my mother-in-law still lives here, and let's have a little backstory, exactly who I am and who is the Diabetic Cyclist. Let's have a little sit down and have a chat. So 10 years ago, me and my wife moved out to Portugal and we started up a mountain bike holiday business. We lived here for 10 years, and then 2 years ago we went back to England. And I know people are like, oh, why would you move back? There's many reasons, but we enjoy our life there now, and we're also able to come out and here on a holiday. Now, a bit about the Diabetic Cyclist part of me, and I've been diabetic 29 years. So I was 9 years old when I got diagnosed. I was a healthy young lad, 9 years old, did motocross, sports at school, stuff like that, very healthy young lad. And within a month, I lost so much weight and the normal symptoms of becoming diabetic. Drinking lots. I must have been drinking 4 litres of water a day as a 9-year-old. I was wet in the bed and all sorts, and we went to the doctors and diagnosed me with diabetes. And that was the start of my journey of being a type 1 diabetic. And from the very beginning, my parents were quite honest with me, and we looked at it as never a negative but a positive. At the end of the day, you can lose limbs, your eyesight, and so much can go wrong with you with type 1 diabetes. And so my parents were honest with me, and from the start we've always looked after it. I've always tried to have my numbers in a good zone overall. Not always perfect, but when you go for your blood results, trying to be in a healthy spot is very helpful. I'm a healthy young man. I've competed in many sports at quite a high level. Obviously the original was motocross. I did all the youth national British stuff, and the highlight of that was racing the British Championship, qualifying. That was good. And then when we moved into Portugal, I started downhill mountain biking, become an elite downhill rider. When I turned 30, went to Masters. I got second in the world in Andorra. Very happy with that. And then the following year, I was European champ in downhill for the Masters, and also got 4th in the world. So it was a good couple of years. I then swapped back the following year to elite, because I think in Portugal they have this rule: if you win European champs or something like that, you go back to elite. And I then raced and qualified for my first elite World Cup, the ones with like Danny Hart, Sam Hill, the big names. I qualified, got 54th. It might not sound amazing, but that is the best in the world doing downhill, so that was a highlight. And I'd always done road cycling as a bit of fitness, but never truly got into it. But then when COVID hit, we weren't allowed to ride the mountains, so I just got on a road bike, started riding, and fell in love with it. And that's truly when the Diabetic Cyclist happened. I did a few videos back then, but then I started to vlog more about my racing and stuff like that. And yeah, we moved back to the UK a couple of years ago, and the scene there is really good, TTs. And like I say, from that GCN video, I had so many positive comments. People were happy to see a diabetic doing well. I really always try to promote it in a positive way. Diabetes shouldn't hold us back. We need to kick its ass. Truly think there are worse diseases or anything out there than diabetes. We just gotta change some habits, and we can live very healthily. If your mates are drinking, you can have a drink. If they're having a bit of food, you can have the food. You just have to be a bit careful, obviously dosing and insulin and all that sort of thing. But saying I always say is, you control diabetes and do not let it control you, because if once it controls you, it is an endless spiral of losing weight, which is actually quite bad. Your vision goes, affects your liver, so many different things. And although this day and age, we can wear CGMs, I've got one on my arm that shows me my bloods. I have the numbers on my watch, so I can always see the numbers. We're so lucky in this day and age of the good insulin out there. And I'm gonna go out for a ride in a minute, and we're gonna chat a bit more. But like I say, I thank you everyone who's come over from the GCN videos and all that sort of stuff. The subscribers and comments has been amazing. So I'm gonna get kitted up, we're gonna head on out, and why wouldn't we when it is like this? So yeah, let's go on out there. So here we are out on the stunning roads of the Algarve. Oh look, no traffic. no traffic. 7 o'clock in the morning. It is stunning. I used to live here for 10 years, so I know the roads pretty well. And yeah, it's just a magical place. So yeah, today is basically a leg loosener. Just go out. I'm gonna go up to Monchique, get some water, go down another big hill. Just basically use today as open the legs, ready for some bigger efforts for the next few days. But I'm on my old canyon, which I leave here. We're lucky enough that my mother-in-law lives in Portimao, so I can just leave my bike, my kit. I leave my helmet and shoes here, throw the kit on and go. So yeah, for days like this, I will probably, my sugars are a bit high. I basically haven't got supplies in the house because we arrived pretty late last night. So it's a bit of an easy day, and just to be safe, I keep them in at my bloods are about 14. Although there's a petrol station up at Monchique. If I need to, I'll get some supplies, but I'd rather run a bit high while I'm out alone. I carry my injection just here on my leg. Just there. So if it ever gets too high, then I can put a bit of insulin, but like I say, it's slowly dropping because in there I'm using my glucose. So yeah, we'll try to get a little bit of footage. I'll try to do a few videos of like I use a hammerhead Karoo. I'm gonna do an updated video on that because I did one years ago. And then another one of like day in the life, fueling, all that sort of stuff. Because after that GCN video, a lot of diabetics reached out asking questions. So I'm gonna do some videos on what people want to know. So let's head on up there and see the views. So we've just arrived in this beautiful little village of Monchique, which is halfway up the mountain, which is 25k from where I'm staying, but it's stunning. And what's good about a lot of these little villages, they have these fresh water taps, so you know, just walk up in this. Because I knew that I was going to be stopping here, I didn't fill that bottle up because there's no need to ride up this hill that I've done about 800 meters of climbing. There's no need to ride up over 2 bottles. So I drank 3/4 of the first one. And all I've got on these ones, because it's not a big day, and I'm only in zone 2-3, I've just got this like Portuguese syrup squash, which is quite sugary. So yeah, I put quite a bit in that one, and I rode up with a bit in this one, so I've got flavour, so it's not just water. And yeah, like fueling, let's say, you know, I take in there's probably 30 grams of carbs in each one, and then I've also got my Buzz Energy. So I'll take 3 of them if I'm out for 2 or 3 hours. But like I say, it depends what sort of effort I'm doing. And like I say, today's just a leg opener. I could tell that I'm almost a bit too fresh because my heart is running a bit high, and I haven't ridden for 3 days now. So I thought I'd have a bit of a break before I came out here to this beautiful, beautiful country, Portugal. But yeah, gonna head over to the east side of Monchique Mountain and do a massive descent. Really, really nice. Let's carry on. Another thing on all my routes, I like to know where there's garages and all that, but in Portugal, there's so many cafes, garages. You can pick up water for like 50 cents, Coke for €1. But I've been out for an hour now, and already my bloods, you know, obviously after breakfast, they've started to drop a little bit. And what I love about the Hammerhead Karoo, there's an app and it shows the trend, how long it's been since the last upload. So I'll just show you. So there, I work in European numbers, so I'm 163 at the minute. And I'd say 40 minutes ago, I was at 300. But that's just because the breakfast had obviously spiked it a little bit, but now it's plateaued. It's in a nice place. But if it starts going lower than that, I always try to ride between 140 and 210 is a very comfortable place for me. When it's too high, then there's too much, you know, sugar in the blood and it's not going into the muscles and that. But this way, you know, the energy is being sourced from the muscles, so the glucose is being put in and all that jive. So yeah, at the minute, it's a good place. But it's so important to know where you can stop. And if you're with people, obviously I'm sure they'd lend you some gels or something. But as I'm alone today, obviously, look, like no one around. I'm in the wilderness. Just carry enough supplies on you. That's so important. You know, on a bigger ride, I carry half a pack of jelly babies and nibble on them, but more chat on the fueling and stuff in another video. But the views. So you carry on descending, got a massive descent now. Then up and over the hill, then back home. So let's go. So there we have it. We are nearing the end of the ride. Obviously, Moncheap behind me. On the main road. No one here. Nobody here. It is a lovely 21 degrees. Just stunning. But then again, in the UK at the minute, it's really lovely weather, but it's just how quiet. And the good thing about these roads, every road almost has this like bike lane. So you're always out of the way of the traffic, even if there is any. So yeah, that's a bit about Brett, the diabetic cyclist, who I am, what I do, where I'm from and all that, because I know a lot of people are new to the channel since GCN released that amazing video. And again, thank you to everyone for the positivity, all the comments, fellow cyclist. So yeah, we're going to carry on smashing it the next few days. So today was an opener. I did a 5-minute effort, a 6-minute sort of TT effort and a 30-second sprint. All good leg openers, but I love being back here. It is my second home. So yeah, later on in a few more videos, I'm going to do different things, why I use the hammerhead, what I do for fueling in the morning, during a ride, on specific training days. Here comes the car, but I've got the radar on, so I say I could just stay in this bit. Traffic passes, no bother. And yeah, we'll keep on trucking along, bringing positivity to the diabetes life. And yeah, follow my journey. Comment, like, subscribe, share it, give it some love. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming on this journey with me. We're going to keep rolling. Yo.